You ever wake up one morning, pour yourself a cup of bad coffee, and realize someone just walled off your whole life with 15,000 bucks worth of steel? And for what? Because a guy in fancy boots wanted to see if you'd break before lunch. That was me, staring at an 8-foot wall of chain link where my road used to be. Red dust swirling around my truck, sun beating down so hard, the steering wheel would have branded you if you weren't careful. And, on the other side of that fence, Brad Morrison arms, folded boots that had never seen real work, and a smirk like he'd just checkmated me in 2 moves. Your easement's disputed, Ms. Chen. This gate stays closed till you sell. Or you can enjoy a 40-mile mountain detour. He actually said that like he was doing me a favor, giving me an alternative to starving on my own land. That's the day my whole world tilted, the day Brad figured his power games would finally make me fold. But what he didn't know was I'd already inherited one secret weapon. He'd overlooked the one piece of property that controlled the only way out for his precious newly built subdivision. The one key that could turn his little HOA kingdom into a ticking insurance nightmare. But let's back up, because stories like this don't start with the fence going up. They start with the slow simmer. And hey, before we get lost in the drama, I gotta ask, where are you listening from today? I always wonder about that. Oh, and do me a favor, smash that like and subscribe. If you want more stories like this, you're gonna want to stick around for this one. So I saw the fence when I was still a quarter mile out. 8 feet of steel and slats blocking the only road that touched my 85 acres of Arizona ranch land. Not 3 hours before I'd driven out for supplies, and nothing was there, just open sky and the old red dirt road Uncle Raymond left me. Now blocked. 2 signs zip-tied to the chain link right at eye-level private property. No trespassing. Sunset Ridge Estates, HOA. I just stood there, sweat pooling in my boots, hands on hips, pulse hammering. Brad Morrison had finally done it. He'd boxed me in. Named Sarah Chen, 38 years old. I've run the Red Mesa Ranch since Uncle Raymond passed 5 years back. 85 acres of high desert grass and 60 head of cattle. Not glamorous, not easy, but honest work. Agritourism for city folks who wanted to play cowboy farm-to-table dinners for people with money to burn. This was my home bought by Uncle Raymond in 1985. He'd sold 60 acres off to developers in 87 to pay down debt, but kept the good part, the chunk with water rights, the only access to the Red Mesa Aquifer, and a recorded easement to the highway. That easement, it was filed with the county in 1987. Permanent. Legal. Said I could cross that sold land whenever I needed. And for 38 years, that was that until Brad Morrison rolled up in a black Ram pickup logo, shining smile, sharp enough to cut wire. Miss Chen, I'd like to make you an offer. Your ranch is beautiful, but it's landlocked. No direct highway access except through my subdivision. That creates complications. Then he dropped his bomb, $2.3 million cash, 30-day close. I just looked at him, let that settle in the silence, and set my water down. Careful. Mr. Morrison, the ranch was appraised at $4.8 million last year. Water rights alone are worth a quarter of that. His smile got thinner. That appraisal assumes stable access. Access easements can be tricky. He talked liability insurance, all the stuff he hoped would scare me. But the answer was no. You'll regret this, he said, dust swirling behind him as he drove off. 3 months went by. I figured he'd gotten the message. I was wrong. So there I was, phone in hand, snapping photos of the new fence, the signs, the survey pins, marking my easement 50 feet behind his damn fence line. He hadn't just blocked my access. He'd blocked it illegally, right on the right-of-way. I called the county roads department. Nice lady on the line. I explained the whole mess. She checked the records, told me I was right. It's a recorded right-of-way. File a formal complaint. We'll investigate. 10 to 14 business days, 30 days to comply if they found a violation. A month. Brad knew it too. He was betting I'd get desperate and sell quick and cheap. I rattled the fence, solid pro installation, probably cost more than my pickup. He'd planned it, waited until I felt safe, then sprung the trap. So I turned the truck around and took the only other way home, a 40-mile detour through mountain roads that rattled the teeth right out of your head, 90 minutes instead of 12. I pulled into the ranch, late, angry, and tired, just in time for the phone to ring. Ms. Chen, this is Brad Morrison. The HOA installed a security fence today. I understand that may affect your access. If you'd like to discuss a solution, I'm available. I tried to keep my voice steady. Brad, you just fenced off a legal easement? That's illegal. The HOA has a right to control access, he said, oozing that fake sympathy. If that creates inconvenience, we can discuss alternative arrangements. I'm prepared to renew my offer. Or we can negotiate an annual access license. My choice, I told him, is for you to remove the illegal fence. He laughed, actually laughed, then hung up. Thing is, Brad thought he'd won. Thought I was trapped, desperate, done for. What he didn't know was 3 years back, when Brad was building Sunset Ridge, the county had made him create a second exit for emergencies. His subdivision, 120 homes, couldn't get insurance or occupancy without 2 ways out. The only secondary route, a fire road that ran through my land. The county installed a gate, gave the key to Uncle Raymond, and never bothered to check again. That key was still on my ring, marked Firegate, in Uncle Raymond's handwriting. Brad had locked me out, but he'd forgotten I controlled his only other way out. Next morning, I called my attorney, Miguel Rodriguez. Smart, sharp property law in his veins, Miguel Brad fenced off my easement. But I have the only key to the emergency exit his whole subdivision needs to stay legal and insured. He just laughed, full honest. Can you believe this laugh? Sarah, that's the dumbest move I've seen all year. Let him stew. When the fire marshal comes to test that exit, Brad's world is going to implode. So I waited. 3 days, went about my chores, drove the mountain detour, said nothing. The county fire marshal came for his annual inspection. Couldn't get through the emergency gate. Called me. Ms. Chen, do you have the key I do? Can you provide access for an emergency? Absolutely. For a routine inspection. Not until the HOA removes the illegal fence blocking my access. He made a note. Hung up. Made a note. Hung. The fire marshal's report hit the county record the next day. Sunset Ridge Estates non-compliant. Insurance carriers must be notified. 30 days to restore access or else. Panic rolled through the subdivision like a dust storm. Homeowners got letters saying their policies were being canceled. Home sales froze. 2 deals collapsed in a week. I started getting calls. Tom Wynn, a resident I'd met once at a county meeting, called me. Sarah, is it true you have the only key? It's true, Tom, but Brad blocked my legal access. I'm not handing over anything till that's fixed. Silence. People are scared, Sarah? Then tell Brad to remove the fence. Emergency HOA meeting that night. 93 residents. A woman named Karen Wu stood up, retired attorney, not one to let things slide. Brad's company blocked Sarah's road illegally. She has a right to use that easement. The crowd turned on Brad. Next thing, there's a vote. Remove Brad as president. 87 to 12. He walked out before the vote was even done. That night, Brad called me. We need to talk about the fire gate. You mean the one on my property? The one you need. You're holding families hostage. Sarah. No, Brad. You blocked my access, removed the fence, pay $15,000 for 3 weeks of detours, and apologize in writing. That's the price of the key. He called it extortion. I called it consequences. He tried legal threats. His attorney sent me a letter quoting statutes that didn't apply. Miguel fired back a response that was short, sharp, and devastating. The doctrine of emergency necessity does not apply to hypothetical emergencies. My client has the right to deny access for non-emergencies. Your threatened litigation is baseless. Never heard back. He tried going through the county. The assistant county attorney called. I explained everything, and she backed me up. You're not violating any code. Mr. Morrison's fence is an illegal obstruction. The fire road's his problem. Brad's final move: send a delegation of residents to my door. They begged, threatened, tried guilt trips about kids and wildfires. I held my ground. Remove the fence, pay the damages, apologize, or leave. 5 days left till the insurance deadline. Brad couldn't take the loss, so he did the dumbest thing yet: cut my lock off the fire gate and installed his own. I found the ruined lock in the dirt, called the sheriff. You want to press charges? The deputy asked. Yes, I said, and I'm installing a second gate 50 feet inside my property line. If Brad wants to escalate, let's escalate. Had a new gate put in, industrial strength, custom lock sign that made it real clear: no trespassing, no emergency access except by my say-so. Fire marshal showed up, found the new gate. Subdivision still non-compliant. Insurance still canceled. Panic set in. Brad went to court emergency motion to force me to open the gate. Miguel countered with motions about the illegal fence, trespass, destruction of property. Court day came. The judge, a no-nonsense woman named Hensley, read through both sides, then looked at Brad. You built 120 homes depending on a gate you didn't control, and now you want the court to fix your mistake? She ordered Brad to remove the fence in 48 hours, or pay $1,000 a day. Ruled I had no obligation to provide access. Called his actions breathtaking hypocrisy. The fence came down 2 days later. You ever see a grown man shrink 10 years in a single hour? That's what Brad looked like as he left the courthouse, silent, pale, all the swagger gone. The HOA, now run by Karen Wu, came to me with a fair deal: $25,000 formal apology, recorded easement for emergency access. HOA maintains the fire road Brad banned from my property for life. I signed. The gate key handed over. Insurance reinstated. Property values stabilized. People could breathe again. Brad. He got hit with $438,000 in damages, legal fees, and fines. Lost his company reputation and left the county in disgrace. Folks sued him personally, and 3 families are still chasing what little he has left. All because he thought leverage was about muscle and money, not about who holds the one thing you can't live without. You want to know the real lesson? Leverage isn't about size or cash. It's about what the other side can't live without. Brad couldn't live without the gate. I had the key. That was all it took. 18 months later, the ranch is thriving. Agri-tourism, cattle the land. Uncle Raymond left me. It's all still here. Karen Wu stops by sometimes. The subdivision is drama-free. Brad. Last. I heard he moved to Nevada, reputation in tatters. Sometimes people ask if I feel bad about what happened to him. I don't. He made every choice. He picked the fight. He lost. That's justice, not revenge, not cruelty. Justice. So here's my question to you. Where's the line between standing up for yourself and letting someone else's disaster become your responsibility? Should you have to play nice when someone tries to steal what's yours, just because their mess got big enough to hurt bystanders? Or is there a point where justice means letting the chips fall where they may? Tell me what you think down below. Share your own stories. When did you have to stand your ground, even if it meant others got caught in the crossfire? Was it worth it? I want to hear about it, because out here sometimes all you've got is your word, your land, and the one key that keeps the wolves at bay.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.